my lovely goddesses in the room, my amazing tribe in the room. God bless you and a super morning. I forgot to switch on the light. Is the lighting okay? Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get started. Cheers. I have just come back from a fabulous trip, completely rejuvenated, completely happy. So in a really positive space, as I must say. I don't know how many of you plan holidays as a part of your business strategy. If you are not doing that, then my suggestion to each one of you is holidays are a must. I know a lot of people say that your work should be such that you should never have to take a vacation. I am sorry, I don't agree with it at all, okay? No matter how beautifully passionate you are about a work, if you ate butter paneer every day, at some point you will want something different. And I feel the beauty of life is to divide it between planning and preparing, delivering your goods, and between rest and nourishing days. If you don't have nourishing days as a part of your plan, please, my biggest suggestion to everyone is make sure you have it, because kuch bhi, if you're only doing one kind of thing in your life, eventually you will burn out. If you were only doing holidays, you'll stop feeling the joy in them. If you were only working, you'll stop feeling joy in that. So those people who say that you should work in a way that Monday mornings should be feeling amazing and everything should be feeling amazing, I don't agree. But you can have your own take on it, yeah? I just came back from Goa. Woohoo! How many of you already have a plan and know where you're going for your next holiday? Whether it is in September, October, November or December. If you don't know, today is your day. I'm giving all of you homework. I need you to have always to know what your next trip is within the next 90 to 120 days, and I recommend every quarter. So every 3 to 4 months you should plan one holiday. It can be 2 nights, 3 days also. It doesn't have to be long or anything. 2 nights, 3 days, every 90 to 120 days, you're pretty sorted. Yeah? If you know your next trip, that's great. If you don't know your next trip, you know Pooja has given homework today. Sit down with your family and say, kahan ja rahe hain hum? Yeah? Love it, love it, love it. Okay, Dubai next year, Europe next month. Loving it. Okay, Shimla, Goa, superb. Now let's go into questions. Kirti is asking, hi ma'am, my father is very dominating and he doesn't allow my mother to live freely. What can I do to help her be happy? Kirti, one of the things as daughters we want to do is change the dynamics between our parents, because we see our mothers suffering. But if your mother has to be, all you can do is infuse her with the courage that you're there to support her. Okay, remember, this is what has worked between them. So the more you interfere, sometimes what can happen is that your own mother may turn around and start to feel like, you're interfering too much. She has to rise to the occasion. I always say we can only bless our children and pray for our parents. We overly indulge them into changing their lives because we see the injustice being done between them. That's not our place to be. So my suggestion to you would be, speak to your dad if you can. Speak to your mom around her courage. What are the things she'd like to do? Okay, and then infuse her with courage to take baby steps towards that. Okay, anytime I am supporting a woman to get out of her patriarchal situation, it's never an overnight. It's usually a process where I build them into the personality that can stand up for herself. As she slowly stands up for herself, a day will come where she'll be able to say, no, this is not okay with me. But you have to take her on a journey. All right. I just came back from Vipassana. Oh my God, Shamta, how beautiful is that experience? That is just wonderful. Something that I would love to do soon. So God bless you, Miri Jan. Such a, self-reflection. I've done 8 days of something called HDB. And to me, that itself was mind-blowing. So I can't even imagine how amazing Vipassana must be. Pinky, ma'am, after meeting my boyfriend for 2 times in person, I got to know I'm not compatible with him. His mindset and thoughts are not aligned with mine. I told him that I don't want to be with him. Is it wrong? Pinky, I don't see anything wrong in this. The first few dates are supposed to be around figuring out whether you are compatible or not. So I feel like we women trust too fast. We should take our time. First 2-3 months should be only about exploring whether we should even date each other or not. Okay, so while you're calling him a boyfriend, I wouldn't even call him your boyfriend for 2 times. If you've only met him in person, he's not your boyfriend. He was a guy you were looking at to see whether a relationship would work, and then guess what? We are not compatible, so therefore nothing wrong in it. Okay. Oh, so sweet. Good morning, my personal SRK. Divya Pravi, I love you for even putting me in the same bracket as SRK, because you know I'm such a big fan. Swaika's Success Craft. Super nervous about SAT for this week's GBDE. So overwhelmed and nervous. Super nervous about SAT for this week's GBD. SAT क्या होता है भाई? My suggestion, come in with whatever you have, fear, anxiety, nervousness, and allow for it to get released as you go through the program. I will not want to remove your nervousness yet, because you know what? My son said this to me. I learned it from my older son. He said, Mom, I would rather be nervous of my interview the next day than be overconfident about it. So if my choice is only between the two, I'd rather be nervous. So my suggestion is, anytime you're doing something new in your life and you're feeling nervous, let's accept it as the, you know what, God has created us in a manner where anything new will build excitement and fear together. Okay, so that's but obvious and but normal. So enjoy it, Meri Jaan. Yeah. Sakshi Mittal Negi saying, throw some light on scheduling and planning. You know what, this morning I was actually reading a Tim Ferriss 30 different ways to become more productive, and I really liked them so much that I saved it on my phone. Let me just show you some of it. The best productivity app on your phone is called the airplane mode. So whenever you are getting into some sort of work, see if you can put your phone on airplane mode for some time so that you receive no messages, no phone calls, and it's completely distraction free. Learn to know your default mode, whether it's new work, projects, social gatherings. Learning to say no is so important. Yesterday I landed and Puneet and I were invited to a party, and I was very keen to go. Some of my favorite people were going to be there. But I realized that after 9 days of holidaying, I needed to be with myself for a day before I get back into work, and I chose not to go. So just, you know, we have so much FOMO in life that I think JOMO should be our new motto. FOMO is fear of missing out. JOMO is joy of missing out. And I think when you are having a very productive life, when you want to really achieve a mission in your life, learning to say no and literally feeling joy in the fact that you are prioritizing yourself over people is a gift you give to yourself, which is so, so wonderful. I'm just going to read out a few just for you to see what all you can do for scheduling and planning. Stop regretting past decisions. You made the best choice at the time with the knowledge you had. Be at peace with it. This was a lovely one. Write down your 3-3-3 plan. Okay, 3 hours on the most important project that you are going to be spending time on today. 3 shorter tasks and 3 maintenance activities. Let me give you an example. Okay, so for any sort of scheduling and planning, if every morning you could do, what is going to be that one thing I'm going to do for 3 hours? Okay, what's going to take 3 hours of my life? What's that important project, mission, purpose that I want to give all of my focus to? I love following the Pomodoro technique, which is 45 minutes of complete focus, 15 minutes break, 45 minutes complete focus, 15 minutes break, 45 complete focus, 15 minutes break. Eventually you will land up working about 120 minutes. What is 45 into 3 equal to? About 100 minutes, let's say. Okay, so or a little more, maybe 120. Okay, and then that becomes your base. So that's the most important. That's where your frog should live. Eat That Frog is a lovely book by Brian Tracy, where he says your most important task, the one that's going to take your maximum energy, should be ideally done before lunch. So see if you can make that happen. Then your 3 activities which are important but not super duper important. So this was the most important task of the day. Then 3 important activities that you feel like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, and I have to do this. Let's say I have to take my son to the doctor. I have to also, write out a sheet that someone especially asked me for writing a forward in their book, or I need to go and pick up some plants for my house. These can be your 3 important tasks. And then there are 3 maintenance tasks. Maintenance. So 3 maintenance tasks are not important but need to be done. These could be, you need to send your driver to get your creams for example, I've just come back, all of my SPF is over, I just need to quickly send my driver and get my SPF. So it's the totally non-important task, but yet they need to be done, correct? So go in that order of 3, 3 and 3. 3 hours, 1 session, then 3 activities that support that thing. So important tasks, and then 3 not so important, just maintenance level tasks. So if you can start to divide your day and schedule these things into the day, you'll start to feel super duper productive. You can even look this up. The 3-3-3 method is quite popular, so you can look up the details also if you like. Yeah. Twinkle star 0324. How to manage my emotional outbursts and anger? Twinkle, my suggestion would be join Awakening as a program. Okay, for all of you who are here, who've gone through Awakening, tell me in the chat box, do you feel your ability to manage your emotions has become better? That your outbursts that could last hours now are in minutes, or the ones that used to be in minutes are now completely controlled? Tell me in the chat box so that I can convince my dear darling Twinkle Star to come and just join Awakening, because one of the things I love teaching is actually how to become emotionally so strong, so stable that you are no longer a puppet in anyone's hands, and you're not letting anyone's drama become a part of your life. You take that remote control back and you start to take 100% responsibility of your life rather than living the victim life. If you had to ask me in one sentence to describe what is my sister was, I would say it is taking a woman from being victim to making her a manifester. Now, I want you to, and I can tell you, people who have too many emotional outbursts are not in control of their emotions, therefore they cannot be manifestors, and it's my job to ensure that you become a manifester, darling. So please, aa jao Awakening course mein, theek hai? Shraddha, hi ma'am, is it okay to get up at 3:30 and 4 and do your morning routine and then again sleep for 1 or 2 hours? Why not? It's your life and you are the best person to design it. You are the director, producer of your movie. If that's what suits you, so be it. I love a 30-minute nap. I don't get it most of the time, but I would love a 30-minute nap between my 4:30 wake up to my 10 o'clock getting ready. So at 9:15, I wish I could take like a nice 30-minute power nap before I go into the day. It doesn't happen, to be honest, but I wouldn't mind it. So yes, it's totally okay. Dia463, love you Puja ma'am. I am in your Awakening program, in your Enlightenment program, and in your Money Manifestation Challenge students. Loads of love to you for your abundant energy. Mwah! Dia, you're my kind of person, Meri Jaan. GBDA, GBDE and MMC. That is just, you are phenomenal, my sweetheart. I'm so glad to see you enjoying all that I have to offer. Nevita, hi ma'am, how to deal with neighbors who talk some days and make us feel ignored on other days? Nevita, the best thing is to ask this person what happened. What you may be looking at as ignoring could just be a bad day in someone's life. You know, everybody is not high energy every day. So you have to just check sometimes like what happened. You know, yesterday you were so warm. Is everything okay? So never ask them, why are you ignoring me? Always ask them, I'm concerned you don't look yourself today. Okay, I'm concerned that you're not looking like, you know, you're usually so amazingly high energy. What happened today? Or is everything okay between us? So you can put it across in a manner that the other person, instead of getting defensive, I see a lot of people saying, hey, today you're looking very low, very down. You don't even want to say things like that. You want to check with the person. You don't want to tell the person. Okay. Sometimes they'll just tell you, I have severe backache. I'm not being able to even survive the day and there's so much to do. And you know what? Your concern will actually make them feel loved, and in the process, they may stop ignoring you. And some people just know that, you know what, they don't have enough maturity in their own emotions. They land up blowing hot, blowing cold towards you. You mustn't take it personally, because it's not you, it's them. When you start to understand it's not you, it's them, then you allow people different days, different moods. Don't you have different days, different moods? Then why don't we allow others different days, different moods? Okay? Why are we taking that personally? I have days when I'm super high energy, and there are days when I'm completely self-reflective. If you meet me on a day when I'm completely self-reflective, just the other day, You know, normally I'm the kind of person who will receive and say bye to people with a lot of warmth. But I was just so exhausted that I didn't get down off my car while saying bye to someone. And later on I'm thinking I would never do that. But then I realized, you know what, I'm just energy deprived. For 9 days I've just been giving, not even giving. I've been doing. I know I was energy deprived. Now if that person wants to read it wrong way, they can. But why? Why should they read it wrong way? Does everybody not have the permission to be in their own energy, whatever energy they've woken up in? So Nevita, I think more than thinking about how they are making you feel on some days, I would love for you to start to operate from a place where you start to check in with people when they ignore you. That you start to show care and concern rather than take it as disrespect and insult. Okay? Try this method and tell me how it goes for you. Hugh by Sapna, I'm very upset for my future. Oh, Sapna, I would love to help you with that. My suggestion would be join Awakening. I am a big believer that we are the designers of our future. I'm a big believer that each one of us has the power to manifest and design our lives. If that is true, then if you're a part of my tribe, darling, you should never be upset about your future. You're allowed to be upset about your past because you can't do anything about it. But future is something that is in our own hands. And when we start to believe that our future is in someone else's hands, or we become victim enough to give away our power to others, that's the only time we can be upset about our future. My suggestion is start to rise in courage. The more courage you have, the more ability to create your future you have. The problem is we don't want to upset anybody, we don't want to disappoint anybody, but we want a beautiful future. It doesn't work, Mary Jaan. My Fernando. How to console a friend who lost her love and is devastated, not interested in life anymore. Mylin, I would say depends on how much period has already passed between her losing her love and where she is right now. So a lot of times some people just take a little longer, and I think we have to give them their time. So many of us have built our entire lives around that one person we love, and sometimes getting out of it takes maybe a couple of years, you know. When my mother-in-law lost my father-in-law, I think it took her about 2 years to get out of the grief of losing him and to start to find her own independent friends, independent hobbies. Today, she is sometimes more busy than we are and is doing a fabulous job of what she's created out of her life. I'm sure her husband from heaven will be super proud seeing her the way she lives her life. But you know what? It took some time. So, Mylin, just be there to support her, love her. Right now, don't try to push her into becoming someone who she's not yet. And everybody has their own grieving process. Everybody has their different ways of expressing their grief. Some people look like they've gotten out of it faster because they hide it through being happy. Okay, some people just allow themselves the whole process. Some people cover it up with kindness, some people cover it up with sorrow. Depends on different people. So just keep holding space for her and keep going on that journey for her, knowing that, you know what, if she gets enough love from the people around her who are still there for her, at some point she will start to rise back into blossoming, into becoming that person that she truly is. Okay, Dr. Reena, how to keep the promise we make to ourselves? I often break the commitment, especially eating healthy. Dr. Reena set rewards and consequences. So let's say you want to eat healthy. If you eat healthy 5 days in a row, you can reward yourself with a shake on Sunday. Let's say, I'm just giving, or a dessert on Sunday, right? So you reward yourself, or you set consequences that the days I don't eat healthy, I'm not allowed to go online. So either I have to choose the aloo chips or I have to choose Instagram. I can't get both on the same day. Like that, you can set consequences and you can set rewards. Remember, we don't have a boss. Because we don't have a boss, our promises to ourselves are the weakest because there's no one else in charge, right? Instead of trying to make promises to yourselves, you can even do this. You can start to make promises to God. So instead of saying, I'm going to eat healthy and make a promise to yourself, you can say, I keep a mannat. Okay, the next 40 days I'm going to eat healthy, and this is to God. And you know what they say in law of spirituality, that whatever you give up in the materialistic world, God has to what do you call that, give it to you in the spiritual world. So your luck increases, your everything increases. You'll see in every religion there will be sacrifice in the materialistic world, whether it is through Rosa, or it is through Lent, or it is through Navratri, or it is through all the Jain fasts or Pradyushan or whatever you want to call it. There is a known fact now that you sacrifice in the materialistic world to get. So sometimes, what I do is instead of making the promise to myself, I make it to God, because I know to God I won't break it, but to myself I will. So it just becomes stronger as a promise. Yeah. So if you have a great connection with the divine, this is a great thing to do. Holistic parenting with Nida. I am planning to launch my coaching program. For some reason, I'm just not able to do it. How can I fix this? Holistic parenting with Nida, my suggestion is for the next 7 days, write a letter from God to yourself saying, Dear Nida, you are the chosen one. I have put you on earth to serve other people because you have the power to remove pain from people. Okay, you have the power to guide and mentor people. You have the power to be the solution that they are looking for. You have the power to be the prayer answered through me. So when you start to write letters like that, it starts to give you that courage that this is not about me, this is about my service and contribution to the world. And the day your service and contribution to the world means more to you than your own ego of how I'm looking, how I'm talking, what I'm saying, what am I doing, am I doing right, am I not doing right, your perfectionism takes over otherwise. So see if you can, for 7 days in a row, write a letter to yourself every day as if God, if you are literally the chosen one by God. I've done this many times. There are days when I'll be super scared about launching something and I'll just write myself a letter saying, where God is telling me, thumbs up, Puja, just go ahead. I'm there. I'm watching your back. Don't worry about it. For a few tweaks, I may give you a few failures, but eventually you will definitely make it. And when I say that to myself again and again and again for 7 days in a row, by the 7th day, there is a different neural pathways that get joined. You are a coach, so you understand neural pathways. What gets fired gets wired. So you want to start to fire up that side of your brain that gives you confidence, so that the voice in your brain, which is currently pulling you down and making you feel small, can keep quiet for some time, so that this voice becomes louder. Yeah. I am RST 2002. I am MRST. Hi ma'am, this is Romika. Okay, Romika. I want to ask that if we can expect our therapist to be a life coach or not. Well, they're all similar and they're all different. Okay, so the job of a therapist is normally to make you talk enough so that you can come into your own solutions. Life coach is slightly different. Life coach is more of a conversation and discussion. Therapist is more of a one-way street where it's all about you talking. So you can have an overlap. I don't find all of these too different from each other. I feel like they all eventually do the same job, which is to process you to take you towards your better life. Either by a psychiatrist will do it at the most severe level with medication and all of that because they are the professionals. A psychologist will be able to do it with all of the learnings of all of the systems and methodologies. A life coach, a therapist, a healer, I feel like we all are doing the same work depending on who you land up getting most attracted to and who's able to help you most. I feel like wherever your faith and surrender is the highest is where you will get the maximum help. So the person you connect with most is the most important person. What their designation or name is, I'm normally not so bothered about that. I am missing your finger rings today. Oh, why? You don't like my new ring from Thailand? It's such a cute one. Harikasari vocals. Puja ma'am, I want to conduct an offline event in my mother tongue, Telugu, based on your 4 avatar webinar. I will try to change the examples as much as possible. Do I have your permission to do that? Harikasari vocals and everyone who's listening to everything that I speak. Okay, today and forever, I want you to know anything that I say, you are allowed to use. Because in my heart, my mission is to spread the work or to spread the knowledge that I'm speaking about. And none of it is created by me. Okay, the 4 avatars is created by me, so the packaging is mine. But you know what? These are all universal laws. If you see, actually, Everything in this world is being just repackaged and sold again. When I had gone for the Jack Canfield session, he would say, to the ancestors of Puja we pray. And I would be like, what? Because he had so much of love for our Indian, mythology and all of our stories and all of the knowledge that as Indians we carry, that he used to give us so much respect, and we as Indians don't give it enough respect. So did any teacher ever in the universe in the olden times say that, please, this Mahabharata is mine, I have a intellectual property right to it, or anything like that? No, na. When your mission is greater than you, you never hold on to the knowledge. So I am a big believer that I want everybody in my tribe to spread my work. You can tell your sister, your brother, you can start taking classes with the knowledge. Yes, of course, if you're doing some of those sessions with me, my suggestion is come learn it from me how to do them. Okay, so if you land up joining my coaching certification or my enlightenment program, I will literally help you learn how to facilitate these programs, because some of these programs I go very deep. At the avatar level that you are doing, you don't have to worry, you can easily do them. Okay, listen to the masterclass again and again and again, as many times as you can come back, so that you can make all of your notes. And please feel free to use all of my material. Maximum, if you're feeling like I want to in some way return the favor, you can always say this, that I've learned this from my mentor Puja. Just add this one line and it then becomes completely ethical if you want to do it in a ethical manner. But from my side, you don't even have to say that. Okay, so feel free to use all of my material, all of you, whenever you want, however you want. If you can give me credit, that's fabulous. If you can't, don't worry about it. My mission is to spread the work. It is not about intellectual property. Okay? Priya, hi ma'am, financial independence is important, but right now how to make up with homemakers' current financial voidness? Priya, it's all about learning to manage your money. So if you are a homemaker, look at the amount of money you're being given. And I love following the 50-30-20 rule, which is 50% should go on your needs, 30% should go on your wants, and 20% to your savings. If you are able to divide your money into 50-30-20, and if you are able to start to save in that 20% every month, the time will come where you will start to become financially independent. It is not necessary for us to have to earn our own money to be financially independent. I have seen housewives so smart in India, especially the Jugadu ones are just mind-blowing, where eventually they have more money than their husband sometimes. I have literally seen that, because they saved, the husband was a spender. There came a day where literally the husband turned around and said, you have 10 lakhs, I don't have, can I borrow? So know this, that you don't have to be working yourself to be financially smart. You can be financially smart. Rather, I think the housewives of India are one of the smartest financial people. So see how you can use this information, Meri Jaan. Dr. Lakshmi V. Shetty. I wish to change my career now at 41. My interests are many. How do I work on where it helps me to monetize? So Lakshmi, one of the best things to do is continue your current career, and you can do a smooth transition. Yesterday I was talking to my son, and he said, Mom, I want to do my coffee business also, and I want to do my photography also. I said, Beta, for any working person, weekends are the best time to build your second income or passive income or your interests. So for normal people, they work 5 days, they enjoy 2 days. For people who want to create a fabulous future, they work 5 days on their job and 2 days on their passion. And a day comes where their passion becomes the job, and wow, what a day that is. Correct or no? So see if you can use this in any manner on how you can start to, for 2 days, explore on the weekends what it is that you'd like to do for those 5 days. And a day will come when you'll be able to marry or transition smoothly. Okay, let me go to the bottom. Can you show your full outfit? It's beautiful. Oh, it's actually just a kaftan. I don't know how to show you the whole outfit. I don't know. Is it showing? Yeah, it's just a kaftan. So I wear a lot of kaftans. I don't know how many of you have noticed that. I tend to feel most comfortable in long dresses. It's got a lovely frill at the bottom. I wish I could show you that also, but I am Prerna Bhardwaj. That was Madhu with Art Bees. I don't know if that was of any use, but okay, you saw whatever you saw. Prerna, may I know your coach or guru? My coach or guru is a man called Jack Canfield. He's the person who's written all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. One of the most amazing teachers on this planet. The heart of gold. If you think I'm a giver, you have to see this man to see the way he gives, the way he operates, his energy, his style. Just mind blowing. So yeah, you can just Google Jack Canfield and you can see. Hopefully next year at some point, I hope he comes to India, and whenever he does come to India, all of you please come for the program, because I'd love for you to experience all that I say through him. So you know, it'll be so lovely. Some words I just can't understand, so I don't know how to read. Okay, wait. Barkha Balja Junjunwala. Puja ma'am, everyone in my home, my in-laws, my husband, always underestimate me. And Barkha, that is the reason why you will do phenomenally well, because you have so much to prove, and that adds so much to your drive. My sweetheart, my husband underestimates me till today, by the way. The other day only I was having some conversation and I told him I wish someday I buy this place. And he just laughed. He laughed at me in a manner that, you know, like, keep your dreams within your limits, Puja. That was the kind of laughter he had on me. And I'm like, now I know whether I land up buying that place ever or not, I'm definitely going to make that kind of money to be able to buy that place, because to myself now I need to, it's given me drive. You know, every few years I lose my drive because I've achieved everything I wanted to. I wanted to be admired. I wanted people to respect me. I wanted my own financial independence. I wanted to not be taken for granted. All the things that used to really hurt me, I've kind of like reached a place where I'm very content in my journey of being a life coach, right? But you know, when these things happen, they bring back that fire in me. So see, Barkha, if you can actually use that to your advantage. I was underestimated for the longest time. The first time I went on stage and came down, my father so sweetly said, Puja, I am so beautifully, or some word he used, I can't remember, but I am so surprised that you are doing something in English. Now, if you know my family, my father, my mother and my brother are the most eloquent people on this planet. Like, they know English, they speak in English, they talk in English, they walk in English, they are English speaking people. Okay, I am Bollywood queen. I love my Hindi music. I love mixing up Hindi with English. I'm not the best in English. I'm very thorough. I can communicate in English, but I'm not like someone where you'll need a dictionary to understand what I'm saying, right? And so when they three saw me becoming a communicator in the world of some sorts, they were so pleasantly surprised. And you know what? I took that as a compliment, while I could have taken that personally too. Correct, Barkha? You know what? A lot of times we ourselves don't know our potential. Where are we expecting our husbands and in-laws to believe in us? You know, now I see my mom-in-law completely being able to see this side of me. But when I started out, literally, I mean, in this family, everybody was like, people are going to pay you to talk. I thought that like, my husband used to make a joke that I'll pay you to keep quiet, Puja. So it was a joke in our family. Barkha, see if you can start to take that lightly, because you know what? This world, especially the people closest to you, if I may tell you, are the last people to give you that thumbs up. You are going to go make a difference in the world, then with your acquaintances, then with your friends, then with your family. The last person who's going to admire you is going to be your spouse or your in-laws. Like, it's going to come right in the end of your success. It will come, I guarantee you that. But after the day you actually don't need it is the day it will come. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying, you know. So it's not going to come so easily. And I can tell you, till today, I have days when my husband is like, yeah, right. Okay. Now what I know is, you can keep saying, sweetheart, it's a long life. I will show you. I will show you what I'm saying. I mean, at that time, I remember I used to tell him, I'm going to buy you a Bentley. And he used to laugh like, तू अपने लिए अपना खर्चा संभाल ले, वो भी बहुत है मेरे लिए, मेरे को कोई Bentley शंटली नहीं चाहिए, you know. And today I'm capable of buying him a Bentley. Whether I buy it or not is a different thing, but it's there in my bank account, right? So he knows now if I say I'll buy you a Bentley, I can buy it today if I like, correct? So it's happened with time, but there was a time where I had to accept the laughter because forget them, even I wasn't sure whether I'll be able to do it. There used to be days I used to wake up and say, Bhagwan ji, aap sambhal lena please, you know, pata nahi hoga ki nahi hoga mujhse. Can you see? All right. I hope that helped you, sweetheart. Stop looking at yourself through their eyes. Start looking at yourself through God's eyes. God created you. He created you magnificent. If you can start to see your own magnificence through the eyes of your God, you will start to live that life. You will become that person. Kaur Madhumita, how do you react if someone is cheating on you? I sit them down and I would like to know what happened. And when they get caught, what their reaction is the most important part. Not that they cheated on me. I can forgive them for that. What I won't forgive them is if they are, arrogant about it. So yes, I cheated on you because you deserve it. Look at the amount of weight you've put on, so it happened. If they put the blame on me, that's not okay. But if someone is extremely apologetic that I got carried away, it's a long life, she gave me a lot of bhav and I didn't realize, or I just, it was a weak moment of my life, or, I'm so sorry and I'll never do it again and I'll do whatever it takes to earn back your trust. So if the person is apologetic and is willing to earn back the trust, I'm willing to give them a second chance. If the person is blasphemous about it, if they are like, excuse me, so what? Why did you read my messages? Why did you touch my phone? If they are defensive and they are making this about me rather than about them, then I'm not okay with that. And then either I will cut them off from my life depending on their reaction, or give them a second chance depending on their reaction. Gem 83, the concept of expectations is complex. Can you explain so that one doesn't get disappointed? So my game with expectations and disappointment, and I'm so glad you used both the words in your question, is that having expectations, nothing wrong with that. People say don't have expectations, only I don't know how to manage that. I mean, I don't have expectations from my neighbor because I don't love him. But if I'm going to spend 2 hours teaching my son, if I'm going to spend 4 hours cooking for my husband, if I'm going to spend the whole day doing something special for someone, the least I expect is gratitude. That's my basic level of expectation. I don't know how to get rid of it because it's a human tendency, correct? It's not something I'm doing. Yeah, if I don't get it, how I manage my disappointment is where my intelligence lies. So what a lot of people do is either they don't want to have expectations, or if their expectations get broken, then they choose to okay, meko to karna hi nahi hai, okay? Now I'm okay with that option, but I want you to learn to manage your disappointment. Now how do you manage your disappointment? Let's say I cook for my husband for 4 hours and he comes back and he doesn't give me even a single compliment. He eats his food and goes off to sleep. Now, how do I manage my disappointment? Either I can accept that, look, I love cooking. I am going to do this. Whether he loves it or he doesn't appreciate it, I am okay with it. I have now, what I've done is self-coached myself through my disappointment. That's one. Second is confrontation. I can ask him, sweetheart, I spent 4 hours cooking. You didn't even give a compliment. What happened? You didn't like the food, kya? And then let him give me an answer that convinces me whether I should continue cooking for him or not. Okay, sometimes he might just say कि पूजा I don't really care what you make, मेरे लिए खाने का मेरा वो रिश्ता ही नहीं है, तो अगर तुझे करना है तू कर, तुझे नहीं करना तू मत कर, मेरे को कुक भी ठीक लगता है, तू भी ठीक लगती है, तू देख ले. Then I know that now I've had that conversation, I must change my expectation that he's not going to compliment me. Or he may turn around and say, Pooja, the food was so good, but I was so tired, I'd had such a long day, but I had planned that this morning I will get up, and when I wake up, in my gratitude, the first thing I'll tell you is the food yesterday was amazing. Anything can happen, right? And then the third way is where you on your own decide not to do it because you're not getting what you need from the equation. So the first one, you self-coached yourself, but you said, you know what, I'm still going to continue to do it, which means you changed your expectation, but you didn't change your action. You changed your expectation, but you didn't change your action. In the third one, what you do is you change the action because your expectations are not being met. So I say, Puneet, I anyway hate cooking. And you don't even care about my cooking. So from now onwards, the cook will cook. Is that okay for you, darling? And he says, oh, I'll much prefer that. He cooks better than you, Pooja. I'm just kidding. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Yeah? So These are the different ways where you can manage your disappointments. So you can't crush your expectations. I feel like then you numb yourself. A lot of people I've seen, they say, I don't have any expectations. What is the joy in life if you had no expectations? Imagine getting fully ready, not expecting a single compliment. Then you go to the party, you don't have any compliment coming in. What will, the whole thing will become so disastrous for us eventually, where if everywhere in life we just remove all the things that give us happiness. I thrive on compliments, on people noticing me or giving me the admiration that I receive. I thrive on it, and I don't want to remove it unnecessarily. Yes, if I don't get it, I know how to manage myself. I'm not going to sulk, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to become a different person. I will manage it. That, it's fine, Puja. Next time make more of an effort. Maybe you'll get the compliments you're wanting. So I'd rather focus on making myself better, So it all depends on learning to manage your disappointments. Don't change your expectations, manage your disappointments, okay? A lot of times, especially in business, I have seen that I have a lot of expectations of things working out, right? So you always go into it believing that it will work out, but sometimes it doesn't. Now, those tweaks are where I handle my disappointment. I'm disappointed that today I did only a 2% conversion. Normally I do a 10% conversion. No problem. What do I need to fix in my sales pitch to do a 8% better conversion or a better conversion? I'll make those changes. God is so kind that when you don't fall when things go wrong and you stay in the energy of fixing rather than the energy of being disappointed, He becomes extra kind. So I've seen that after every failure, I'll have a huge success because I wouldn't, instead of falling and saying मेरे को करना ही नहीं है, I will say अब मैं दिखाती हूँ what I'm capable of, and I'll go into that extra need and desire to want to do it even better, because one experiment, sometimes you don't get it right, I always say, especially I'm in some time I'm going to wear a sari, and I always say sari blouses sometimes take 2 fittings to fit correctly. We shouldn't expect the sari blouse to fit perfectly on the first go. It is such a fitted piece that sometimes let the tailor make the first set, try it on, उसमें वो जो थोड़ा सा इधर से थोड़ा टाइट कर दीजिए, ये शोल्डर थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा कर दीजिए, फोल्ड कर दीजिए, नेकलाइन को थोड़ा डीप कर दीजिए, जो भी, whatever those little changes, and guess what, by the second iteration your sari blouse is perfect. This is not just applicable to the sari blouse, this is applicable to life. Anything you do for the first time, if you get disappointed and you stop doing because you didn't get the rewards or the awards that you were expecting, do it one more time. Sometimes all we need to do is a second time of anything. This could be a recipe of a cake, or this could be a sari blouse, or this could be an event. Do it one second time. Hang in there. Where 90% of the world will stop, you start at that point. The first one was just an experiment. It's the second one where I will start to make it better. Okay, do everything for the first time like an experiment where you're okay with it going wrong because you're doing it the first time. Life becomes so much easier when you open yourself up to exploring and experimenting versus trying to get things right. Soul Kemi with Ruchi, you are simply amazing, Puja ma'am. I really want to have you as my lifetime mentor. How is that possible? That's what I do the whole day, मेरी जान. So Ruchi, my sweetheart, कोई भी मेरा कोर्स ज्वाइन कर ले, चाहे वो अवेकनिंग हो या कोचिंग मास्टरी हो या लाइफ बाय डिजाइन प्रोग्राम हो या एनलाइटनमेंट हो या कोचिंग सर्टिफिकेशन हो, और आजा, मेरे सिस्टर वर्स में बहुत जगह है आप जैसे लोगों की, और मैं तो वेट कर रही हूँ फॉर women of the world to start to find all of their solutions in my tribe. So love you, मेरी जान. Fazli 448, my brother is suffering from panic, anxiety and depression. How to motivate him and give him positivity? Fazli, depending on how severe it is, if the anxiety and the depression is so severe that it's giving him panic attacks and he's having a bodily reaction, then he needs a proper psychiatrist, darling. My suggestion would be take him to a psychiatrist. With a psychiatrist, you can marry a life coach. One can work on his chemistry and one can work on his mindset, and together it works like magic. That's one way of how you can do it. Another way of how you can do it is, if you really want to start to help him, remember it's very difficult to let go of anxiety, it's easier to manage it. So teach him how to manage his panic and anxiety. Anxiety and depression are basically two sides of the same coin. It's the same emotion. Depression is when you regret your past. Anxiety is when you are fearful of your future. They are the same thing. In one, the anxiety has turned into depression. Okay, so both are the same thing. In one it is about your past, in one it is about your future. So the emotion is the same. It's the emotion of things not going right. So if you can just teach them to manage that, okay, when things won't go right, then what will we do? And then what will we do? And then what will we do? And you let them learn to handle things not going right. You know, my son, who talks often about anxiety to me, will always say, Mom, you won't say Puja, Mom, you know what, I'm learning to manage my anxiety by staying in it and not doing anything about it. I know tomorrow is my event. He does these events, and he's saying, I know I have to pray that people should show up. Now we've done all our invitations, we've done everything from our side, whatever was in our control. Now I just have to sit and wait. And that waiting period is what's causing all of the anxiety. So what I do is I go off for things I enjoy. I'll go off for dinner with my brother. I'll go off for bouldering. If I sit with myself, I'll move more into anxiety. But if I keep myself busy, you know, Amir Khan says the day he has a movie launch, that whole night he doesn't sleep. Because he'll be in so much of anxiety that he's given 2-3 years of his life and so much hard work and effort to a movie that he says, I can't sleep that night because next morning is my result, right? So he said, what I do is I invite people home, and the whole night people will keep on coming, visiting me, sitting with me, chatting with me, playing cards with me, doing whatever I feel like doing with them. So that way what happens is that whole night gets crossed. I don't want to be on my own. So look at all the various ways that you can help him manage his anxiety. What solution works for him, only he knows. He can try different solutions. Instead of trying to get rid of anxiety, teach him to manage his anxiety. All right, we are close to 10:49. I brought the cards today, so let's see what is the message from Godji to you this week. We'll do the cards, then we'll do the photo, then you can put your takeaway. I can't think of any better representation of beauty than someone who is unafraid to be herself. What a beautiful card. I can't think of anything better representation of beauty than someone who's unafraid to be herself. And I think that is such a gift we give when we are willing to be ourselves. You know, as I was getting ready this morning, because I've just come back after 9 days of swimming, I have extreme tan on my face. My nails were a complete mess. My grays were showing so obviously in the Insta live that I literally got my pen and I was touching up the grays that were showing. And you know what? I was just asking myself, I wish I could do this live. I don't know how many of you can see the grays, but it's all there. So I was just touching up the front ka grays, and I was just thinking that I should do this live just for everyone to know that, you know what, Puja doesn't look ready all the time. She has to put in that effort to look the way we look, right? And I feel like it is so important for each one of us. Yesterday I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she said, what did she say in the aeroplane? She was saying something, and I said, I really hope and pray that I age gracefully and I never get into that. I was saying, yeah, I don't like my double chin, to her, and she said that, why don't you do something about it? And I said, I would like to just lose weight, but I don't want to go do anything, because you know what, I want to live with this double chin, and I want to show women that it's okay to own yourself the way you are. You know, and I think this is so important, to own yourself the way you are. How many of you can see? After this, I'm definitely going to the salon at some point. So, you know what? And that's okay. I know I have a double chin issue. I don't want to do anything. The world that we're living in right now, Botox and fillers and all of these things that we are craving. And guess what's happening? The more we are doing of that, the more incomplete and empty we are becoming. And that's the bad part. See, if you're doing it because you need to do it because you had an accident or because you had, I'm totally okay with those things. Okay, you need, and I'm very happy with people enhancing themselves, which means when you use makeup, when you keep yourself hygienically clean, when you go to the salon, I'm totally about giving your best self presentation. I'm totally okay even with cosmetic surgery if you're doing it for yourself. But if you are doing it because somewhere you feel lesser in the world in comparison to your friends or people around you, then my suggestion is let's create a new world, a sisterverse in my tribe where we start to appreciate each other's aging process. Literally, I look at a woman's wrinkles and I go, how much wisdom this woman would have gained from the experiences of her life. When I see a 60, 70-year-old woman, I can see her beauty with my eyes. I'm capable of that. And if each one of us became capable of seeing beauty through the eyes of aging process, I think this world, we will be able to get out of so much of the consumerism is coming from a place of making women feel inadequate. From our creams to our fillers to our clothes to our hairstyles, I think at every level, every woman has been told in some way or the other through the advertisements that if you don't look like a Deepika Padukone or a Priyanka Chopra, you are not good enough. And I think we as women, for our daughters and daughter-in-laws, need to stand up now and start to go, you know what? You are beautiful no matter what, because the creator who's created you knows better, not your doctor. And if your creator created you, this was the journey your soul was supposed to take in this particular body. You know, and when we start to have these kind of conversations, I think this is so, it becomes so wonderful when we acknowledge. The other day I was watching someone who came out with her bridal outfit and she had chosen a magenta pink color. And the minute she came out, her mother just said, you know what, you're looking so dark in this outfit. Do you want to choose another color? And she said, Mom, so is dark not beautiful? And the way she said it was an ad on Instagram or it was a show, I can't remember. And it was such a nice moment where she said, am I looking good in this? Am I looking beautiful? Forget fair or dark. She said, the outfit is beautiful. You are looking gorgeous, but you're looking a shade darker than what you normally would. And she said, I want to wear this only. How nice. The day we start to own our complexion, the day we are going to start to own. I use filters in every of my Insta lives, right? And every time I'm using a filter, the reason I mention it in every Insta live is because I don't want anyone to think this is how my skin looks. This is not how my skin looks. My skin is very ordinary in reality. This is all of the flawlessness that comes from thanks to Instagram, correct? So I think we're all on a journey and we're all going to love some parts in ourselves and we're all going to not like some parts. And the journey of life is to fall in love with those parts that we don't like. Because when we criticize the creation in some form or the other, we criticize our creator. And who are you and me to criticize the creator? The creator knows better what body we should have come in on earth, right? True or not? So loads and loads of love to every single one of you here, and thank you for coming. It's 10:56. Very quickly, let's take our photo. If you don't know the ritual, you take my picture, tag me on your stories, put your favorite takeaway from today, and we will make sure that a book comes to you if you are in our top 3 winners. So if you're interested in getting my book, Unlocking the Golden Cage, all you have to do is take a picture, put it in your stories, put your biggest takeaway from today, and tag me Puja_Puneet. Got it? Superb. Let's take the picture. Please do one Insta live. Let me see if I know how to remove the filter. Can I remove the filter? Let me try to remove the filter. 1 second. How do you remove this filter? None if I'm able to find it. Changing the filters is not, yes, okay, remove the filter. This is how I look. Can you see how the whole glow, can you see now the dark circles, can you see how the patchy makeup? Just for all of you. Hey, but don't take photos in this one. Take photos with my filter. 1 second. Here. For photos, let's do this. And then I'll remove the filter just for you to see. Okay, remove the filter. Actually, you know what? Take pictures without the filter today. Let's do non-filter photos. You look more beautiful. I love it. You know what? Actually, what I've seen is when you love the person, their beauty grows on you. And when you don't like the person, no matter how beautiful they are, their beauty just doesn't work. How many of you know this? I've seen, I am in love with some people. People can't see their beauty, but I can see their beauty. And there are some people you're still beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Not that I need anyone's validation, but you're so sweet. But I just want you to know that, we live in a world where everything is so heavily filtered these days, isn't it? Okay, I'm blushing with your compliments now. Okay, on that note, I am going to run. It is 2 minutes away from 11 o'clock. I have a sari to wear and go for lunch, so I'm going to go get ready. Should I show you my sari? It's hanging here only for mining. This is the sari I'm wearing today. This is my sari. I love the color. Isn't the color so beautiful? All right. On that note, bye everyone. Thank you. What are the photos behind me? These are all Buddhist goddesses. So Kuan Yin, and you can just look up Buddhist goddesses. So I just bought a book at the airport in Bhutan and I have framed all of the goddesses. I don't know if you can see all of them, but there are about 24 of them, I think. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 3. 24, right? Yeah. Awesome. Share your pictures for sure. मैं साड़ी पहनूं और मैं फोटोज ना डालूं स्टोरीज पे, हो ही नहीं सकता. पक्का आएंगी. 1,000 kisses for continuously coming every week and working on your beautiful journey. ओए ये क्या हुआ? कुछ दब गया. Love you all. Bye. Sorry for those people whose questions didn't get answered. Oh, last week winners of the book. Thank God you reminded me. 1 minute. Quickly I'll announce those, then you go. Winners for last week are Monica Talwar 0202, Gul Nigar Sheikh, and the mango in the maple woods. If you are in this room, then I want to just give you a massive congratulations. The 3 people who will be receiving our book, you will get our message, all right? Love you all. Thank you for coming. God bless. Awesome.